You already know what T-Rex looked like. You could draw it from memory. The short arms, the massive skull, the bone-crushing jaw. For most people, T-Rex is the apex predator of the dinosaur world. Full stop. The biggest, the most dangerous, the one everything else was afraid of. But T-Rex only lived in one place, a narrow strip of land in what is now Western North America. And while it ruled there, something else entirely was ruling the rest of the world. Something larger. Something built so differently from T-Rex that paleontologists initially refused to believe the fossils were real. An animal that didn't just compete with the apex predators of its time, it replaced them entirely, across an entire continent for millions of years. And almost nobody knows it existed. The animal is Spinosaurus. And by the end of this, what you think you know about which predator actually dominated the age of dinosaurs will look very different. Here's the assumption almost everyone makes, that T-Rex was the largest and most dominant predator in dinosaur history, that if you dropped every major predatory dinosaur into the same environment, T-Rex would be the last one standing. It feels intuitive. T-Rex is the one in every movie, every museum lobby, every children's book. It has become the cultural shorthand for apex predator, period. But T-Rex and Spinosaurus never shared the same continent. They were separated by roughly 46 million years and an ocean. T-Rex dominated late Cretaceous North America, roughly 68 to 66 million years ago. Spinosaurus ruled North Africa roughly 95 to 100 million years ago. These animals never competed directly, and the one that was larger, by a significant margin, is the one you probably couldn't describe without looking it up. Let's establish the actual scale. T-Rex, the largest confirmed specimens, reached around 12 to 13 meters long and weighed somewhere between 8 and 14 tons depending on the estimation method. Those are genuinely enormous numbers. Now here is Spinosaurus. Based on a partial skeleton discovered in Morocco and analyzed with updated methods in a landmark 2020 study led by Nizar Ibrahim at the University of Detroit Mercy, Spinosaurus is estimated at around 14 to 15 meters long, potentially reaching close to 16 meters in the largest individuals. That makes it not just larger than T-Rex, but the largest carnivorous dinosaur ever confirmed by the fossil record. Larger than Giganotosaurus, larger than Carcharodontosaurus, larger than anything else evolution built with teeth and predatory intent during the age of dinosaurs. And the part that almost nobody covers is what that size was actually for. Because Spinosaurus wasn't just a bigger T-Rex, it was a completely different category of predator, one that the fossil record had never produced before and has never produced since. Here is what the 2020 study revealed, and why it rewrote everything scientists thought they understood about Spinosaurus. For decades after the original fossils were first described in 1915 by German paleontologist Ernst Stromer, Spinosaurus was reconstructed as a land predator with a distinctive sail or hump on its back. That reconstruction was based on incomplete remains. The original fossils were destroyed in a 1944 Allied bombing raid on Munich, which set Spinosaurus research back by generations. Then, new fossils began emerging from Morocco, and what they showed was something that looked less like a land predator and more like something evolution had never tried before with an animal this large. Spinosaurus had dense, compact bones, unlike the hollow, lightweight bones of most large theropods. Dense bones reduce buoyancy. They help an animal stay submerged. Its nostrils were positioned high on its skull, far back from the tip of the snout, a configuration seen in modern crocodilians that spend time with their faces in water. Its hind limbs were proportionally short and relatively weak for an animal its size, making it an inefficient runner on land but potentially an efficient swimmer or wader. Its feet showed evidence of wide, flat, paddle-like proportions based on footprint evidence. And its conical, interlocking teeth were shaped almost identically to the teeth of modern fish-eating crocodilians, not the blade-like teeth of a bone-crushing land predator. Ibrahim's 2020 study, published in Nature, concluded that Spinosaurus was primarily aquatic or semi-aquatic, hunting in rivers and waterways, the first dinosaur of its size confirmed to operate in that ecological niche. It wasn't competing with land predators for the same prey. It was doing something entirely different, hunting a world that no other dinosaur its size had ever entered. And what was in that world? The rivers and waterways of Cretaceous North Africa contained some of the largest fish in Earth's history. Onchopristis, a giant sawfish relative, reached lengths of around 8 meters. Coelacanths, giant lungfish, massive coelacanth relatives that no longer exist. Spinosaurus wasn't chasing prey that could outrun it on land, it was hunting prey that could not escape into water because Spinosaurus had followed it there. That's not even the part that makes this stranger. Because what the ecology of Cretaceous North Africa actually looked like was unlike anything on Earth today, and understanding it changes what Spinosaurus actually was. The region known as the Kem beds in Morocco, where many of the most significant Spinosaurus fossils have been found, has been described by paleontologist Paul Sereno as the most dangerous place that has ever existed on Earth. That description is not hyperbole. At the time Spinosaurus lived, the Kem region was a vast river system, a delta environment feeding into what would become the Sahara Desert, teeming with enormous predators at a density that has no modern parallel. In the same environment, alongside Spinosaurus, lived Carcharodontosaurus, a massive land-based theropod comparable in size to T. rex, and Deltadromeus, another large predatory theropod, and Rugops, multiple apex predators of enormous size, all sharing the same ecosystem simultaneously. The density of large predators in the Kem beds has no equivalent in the modern fossil record from any other time period. What that means is that Spinosaurus didn't just exist in this environment. It existed above it. Its aquatic specialization gave it access to a food resource that the land predators around it, including Carcharodontosaurus, which was itself enormous, could not fully exploit. Spinosaurus wasn't the apex predator of North Africa, because it outfought everything else. It was the apex predator because it had found a dimension of the ecosystem that nothing else its size could reach. Now here is the part that almost no documentary about Spinosaurus tells you, because it connects the animal story to something much larger about how dominance actually works in nature. Spinosaurus ruled North Africa for roughly 10 to 15 million years. That is a longer reign than T. rex, which existed for only about 2 to 3 million years before the asteroid impact ended the Cretaceous entirely. Spinosaurus didn't get hit by an asteroid. It lived through multiple climate shifts, multiple changes in sea level that altered the river systems it depended on, and multiple rounds of faunal turnover in the predators around it. What ended Spinosaurus wasn't a single catastrophic event. The fossil record shows a gradual disappearance tied to changes in the river environments it depended on. As the Cretaceous progressed, and the vast river delta systems of North Africa began to shift and dry, the ecological niche that had made Spinosaurus the largest predator on land and in water simultaneously slowly ceased to exist. The rivers shrank, the giant fish shrank with them, and the predator that had been built specifically for that world had no contingency. This is the pattern that runs through every apex predator story in the fossil record, and it is the reason Spinosaurus matters beyond being the biggest carnivorous dinosaur ever discovered. Every dominant predator in Earth's history was dominant because of a specific set of environmental conditions that made its particular adaptations optimal. T. rex was dominant because late Cretaceous North America had the specific prey base, the specific forest and floodplain environment, and the specific absence of competing apex predators that made its particular body plan unbeatable in that context. Spinosaurus was dominant because Cretaceous North Africa had vast river systems full of enormous fish and no other predator capable of hunting them at scale. Remove those conditions and neither animal was built to adapt. Neither one was a general-purpose killing machine. Both were exquisitely specialized for worlds that existed only briefly on the scale of geological time. And here is the final thing the fossil record of Spinosaurus shows us, one that researchers are only beginning to fully appreciate. The discovery of Spinosaurus's aquatic lifestyle wasn't just surprising because of what it revealed about one animal. It was surprising because it revealed a gap in our model of what dinosaurs could be. For over a century, the assumption was that large predatory dinosaurs were fundamentally land animals. The aquatic niche at that size simply wasn't on the map of possibilities, and then a single, partially destroyed fossil record from Morocco rewrote that assumption entirely. Spinosaurus didn't just change what we know about the largest predator that ever lived, it changed the questions we know to ask, which means the fossil record is almost certainly still hiding other animals, other ecological roles, other categories of predator that we haven't found yet because we haven't imagined them. Spinosaurus existed for millions of years in plain sight of anyone willing to dig in the right place. The original fossils were found in 1912. The aquatic reality wasn't confirmed until 2020, over a century of the wrong assumption built from incomplete evidence, accepted because it fit the model everyone already had. The most dangerous place that ever existed on Earth wasn't ruled by T-Rex. It was ruled by something that went into the water instead, and we almost missed it entirely.